and had been lying in that alley until dawn. A staff member from Nightfall only found her while taking out the trash after work. That's so tragic. I held a cup of hot water, listening with a gossip-loving face, as the Nightfall staff beside me continued speaking. So pitiful. Originally, our shop's trash bin was at the back door. We don't know who moved it. Next to Miss Lee, blocking the view, so no one could see there was someone there. The worst part is that some customers aren't exactly well-mannered. They always like to pee around the trash bin. I looked disgusted. You didn't see what Miss Lee looked like when she was found. Her whole body was covered in. The person stopped mid-sentence, seemingly feeling a bit nauseated, and didn't continue. I didn't need to guess. I already knew what kind of scene that must have been. I wonder what kind of person Miss Lee had offended. She looked so pitiful when we found her. The person sighed and said no more. I sipped my water quietly, my dark eyes darting around continuously, with an almost imperceptible smirk. At that moment, two men in work uniforms walked in. One of them was seriously saying something. Zhao Jingyi was just about to respond when a familiar voice suddenly rang out. When is it going to be my turn? It's already dark outside. The doorman is going to nag again soon. I froze for a moment, then looked up and glanced around the room, trying to find the owner of that voice. And soon enough, she spotted me, blending in with a group of people wearing uniforms. I sat on a bench in the corridor, holding a cup of water in my hands, looking completely at ease. Zhao Jingyi was a bit surprised to see me there. Without thinking, she started walking toward me. Zhao Ji, where are you going? A colleague asked in surprise, following behind her. Maybe Zhao Jingyi's presence was too strong. I instinctively turned my head and looked, and I saw my third sister, who always carried a breeze of authority. I was instantly speechless. It felt like being caught doing something wrong by an adult. Why are you here? Zhao Jingyi stood in front of me, looking down on me with disapproval. I blinked, hesitated with my mouth open for a few seconds, and said, "They said I'm a suspect." Zhao Jingyi stared at me, scrutinizing. Suspect of what? Did you get into trouble again? Before she could finish those two words, Zhao Jingyi remembered a conversation their family had previously. She softened her tone and asked what exactly had happened. This time, I was the one surprised. I didn't answer immediately, but just stared blankly at my third sister in front of me. The sun must be rising from the west. She actually didn't scold me straight away, like she used to, and instead kept asking, "So, did no one else from home come with you? Just you?" I nodded. Big sis dropped me off at school and left. Said she had a meeting. Zhao Jingyi sighed quietly, glanced around, then told me not to go anywhere, and turned to head toward the office at the end of the corridor. Not long after, a police officer came to call me in. Inside the office, Zhao Jingyi was talking to another young woman. Both looked relaxed, so they must have known each other. "This is your younger brother." The woman in the police uniform looked up. There was a hint of surprise in her tone. "Yeah, the youngest in the family," Zhao Jingyi said calmly. Wenyin's face showed a gentle smile. She waved to me. "Come sit over here. Don't be afraid. It's just a routine set of questions." After I sat down, I placed my hands on my knees, appearing a bit reserved. Seeing me like this, Zhao Jingyi felt for the first time that this little brother needed protection. She softened her tone and said, "Don't be afraid. As long as you're not involved in this matter, with third sister here, no one will dare bully you." I turned my head, eyes sparkling as I looked at her. Zhao Jingyi's face showed an expression of hope. "Thank you, third sister." It was also the first time Zhao Jingyi saw such an expression on my face. Unlike the past, when seeing her, I was like a startled bird. This was different. In that moment, a sudden sense of pride in being relied on surged in her heart. But before she could enjoy the feeling, she heard my inner thoughts about hitting Li Qian that night. I actually did my homework in advance. I avoided all surveillance spots and left no evidence. You can investigate all you want. Zhao Jingyi's eyes widened, looking at me with a bit of disbelief. So it really was me who hit her. That fleeting thought. She hurt again, of course. I just didn't cripple her. She's already recovered. Zhao Jingyi turned her head away and sheepishly rubbed the bridge of her nose. Then I put on my best acting and rambled to the police. presenting myself as a poor student, being bullied by a school thug. If no one had stepped in that day, Li Qian would have already hit me. Zhao Jingyi could barely stand watching anymore. You, as his sister, didn't even know your brother was being bullied at school? The woman asked seriously, turning her head to question Zhao Jingyi. Zhao Jingyi was a bit speechless. She turned her head. I sighed and said, I spend 300 days a year in the department. The rest is spent on business trips. How could I have time to care? But even if you're busy, as his sister, you still need to pay attention. School bullying is very serious nowadays. It's bad for the child's physical and mental development. The traffic police responded perfunctorily. I'll inform your family later. Do you remember who helped you out? The woman asked again. The corners of my mouth lifted. A glint flashed in my eyes. Of course I remember. Meanwhile, at a luxury apartment, Su Wanli had just closed her laptop. Her phone on the table started ringing. She looked at the unfamiliar number and hesitated for a moment. After answering, the voice on the other end said directly, Hello. Is this Su Wanli? This is the police station. When Su Wanli arrived, I was already eating barbecue. Zhao Jingyi was sitting across from me, arms crossed, looking at me gnawing on a chicken leg with a complicated expression. Although I had already been cleared of suspicion, just hearing about it still gave the new Zhao Jingyi a headache. She never would have imagined that her seemingly well-behaved little brother could actually beat a girl into the hospital, but she couldn't ask directly either. At that moment, Su Wanli appeared at the door. There was a sheen of sweat on her forehead. Her eyes landed on me first. You're here, I said, holding a chicken leg, smiling at her. Su Wanli let out a breath and asked, Did Li Xian give you trouble again? Because on the phone, the police hadn't said much, only mentioning that Li Qian was injured and hospitalized. After receiving the call, she rushed over without delay. Worried that after she left early today, no one was around to look after me, and that's when I ran into Li Qian. Seeing that I was fine, Su Wanli subconsciously breathed a sigh of relief even she didn't realize it. Nope, after you warned him that day, I never saw him again. I looked at Su Wanli with sparkling eyes and said. Zhao Jingyi quietly shook her head, thinking to herself this little brother could totally be an actor. Hearing that, Su Wanli felt relieved. Then she finally noticed Zhao Jingyi sitting nearby. Third sister, she greeted. Zhao Jingyi nodded slightly in response. I'll go talk to the police first. I'll be back in a bit. Su Wanli finished speaking, glanced at the barbecue on the table, then turned and walked out. Not long after, Su Wanli returned holding a bottle of soda water. She sat down on the bench beside me. She naturally placed the bottle in front of me. Then she got to the point. I've already explained everything to the police. It really has nothing to do with you. Thank you, Su Wanli, to stop me from saying anything too outrageous. Su Wanli quickly said, It's getting late. You should be heading back to school. After that, she glanced at Zhao Jingyi and continued, Third sister, you probably still have work to do, right? Zhao Jingyi nodded. There's still some work to finish. Then I'll leave it to you. But I haven't finished eating yet. I pointed at the barbecue on the table and said, Take it to the car and eat. I looked at Su Wanli in surprise. I remembered from the system's data that Su Wanli had mild OCD. Not just anyone could sit in her car, let alone eat food inside it. Something's off, really off. Even when Su Wanli was closest to Song Jingyi and emotionally, she never let him eat in the car. So why the exception today? Could it be a trap in the car? Having traveled through multiple worlds, I've experienced a lot. When it comes to abnormal situations like this, I've always been very cautious. Zhao Jingyi almost burst out laughing at my thoughts, afraid she might accidentally give herself away. She quickly stood up. I have to get back to work. You should head back to school with Su Wanli too. After saying that, she quickly left, not giving me any chance to make her stay. Let's go. I had no choice but to grab the half-eaten skewers. I followed behind Su Wanli like a happy puppy. When we got to the car, I naturally sat in the back seat. The car cruised steadily down the road. Su Wanli kept glancing at me in the rearview mirror. When she saw I had finished eating, she kindly reminded me where the tissues were and where the car fridge was. She told me what drinks were inside. I happily enjoyed it all. After opening the car fridge, I saw there were still a few bottles of cola and one bottle of soda water. Without thinking, I grabbed the soda water. I didn't forget to remind Su Wanli. You should drink less carbonated stuff. Otherwise, when you're old, you'll be stuck in a wheelchair, watching your husband and other old ladies dance in the square. I didn't put those there. Su Wanli explained briefly. I casually replied. I know Song Jingnian put them there. Su Wanli turned around, her eyes staring at me intently. I'll say it again. There's nothing between me and Song Jingnian. I looked ahead first, saw we were waiting at a red light, and then calmly said, nothing now doesn't mean nothing in the future, don't you think? Anyway, you and Song Jingnian are the main couple. You'll end up together in the end. Su Wanli closed her eyes briefly, just when I thought she wouldn't say anything more. Her cold voice came again. You're right. When it comes to feelings, even if there's nothing now, there might be in the future. The engagement stays. I'll try to get closer to you. My eyes widened. What did you just say? Su Wanli's sudden words nearly made me lose it. We can try getting along, Su Wanli said without even turning her head. I was dumbfounded and collapsed back into the seat. I stared at Su Wanli's profile with a complicated expression. Neither of us said anything more, as if trying to avoid Su Wanli. I deliberately sat directly behind her, in a spot where I couldn't even be seen in the rearview mirror. Su Wanli knew very well that what she had just said was indeed a bit sudden. But she couldn't worry about that now. For now, she couldn't figure out where I got those bizarre and messy conclusions from. But one thing was clear. She absolutely had no interest in Song Jingnian. Rather than let me keep imagining things, she might as well prove it through actions. Anyway, after interacting these few times, she couldn't say she liked me, but at least she didn't hate me as much as before. Half an hour later, the car stopped in front of the boys' dorm. I jumped out of the car quickly, without even saying goodbye, and rushed straight into the dorm without looking back. Su Wanli leaned against the car door watching me. That fleeing figure made a helpless smile appear on her face. Upstairs, I stood on the balcony watching the car drive off. Then I quickly opened the task page, wanting to see if my efforts recently had increased the dislike value even a little. But aside from a few basic profiles of the target characters, the progress page that used to be there had disappeared. My expression grew serious. Jialin, come out, I'm here. The system voice chirped out excitedly. I want to check the progress of the dislike value. I didn't beat around the bush, just directly stated my request. Right now, are you sure? The system's counter question immediately made me sense something off. I pressed my lips together and became more cautious. What do you mean by that? Don't tell me there are conditions to view progress? Not exactly conditions, but since the last system update, task progress checking has been modified. So aside from system alerts, when progress changes, host, the rule for manually checking progress is once every 6 months. Host, are you sure you want to use your access now? After hearing that, I let out a cold laugh. The system felt a chill. Its back turned cold. Host, don't be like this. I'm scared. When did the system update? How come I wasn't informed? The system instantly lost its confidence. Its voice immediately dropped in volume. It was while you were sleeping. I sneered, my expression cold. Oh, really? So now the host doesn't even get notified about upgrades? Then does that mean I can also choose not to do this task? I may seem easygoing on the surface, but the system that has followed me for years knows I'm not someone to be messed with. If truly angered, I'm fully capable of going down together with it. No, host, please let me explain. Because this mission is semi-custom. The system compatibility is still somewhat lacking. Which means all settings of the task system must be rematched. And the rematching progress depends on the host degree of integration with this world. So this time, the system update was random. I quietly listened, trying to estimate how much of what the system said was true. The system knew I wasn't easy to fool. While I was lost in thought, it offered another show of sincerity. Host, how about this? I'll secretly grant you 1 extra access. I replied sarcastically. What are you doing, begging me with scraps? I only have 1. If I give you more and the main god finds out, I'll be erased. And your 30 billion reward will go up in smoke too. At the mention of 30 billion, I suddenly felt like my survival instinct had been awakened. Fine, just once. Though dying is easy, I'd rather be a billionaire. After compromising, the system opened the access for me. But when I saw the completely unchanged progress bar, my vision went dark. Even when I looked at Sue Wanley's dislike value toward me, the value dropped from 98 to 90.70. I almost wanted to die. There must have been an error during the system update. Hurry and reboot it. Seeing myself fall further from that 30 billion goal, I was on the verge of a breakdown. The system doesn't make mistakes. These are real numbers. Then what the hell am I even doing? Do you want to switch mission tracks? You can still change to a goodwill mission if you want. No. I ground my molars furiously and stabbed hard a few times at Sue Wanley's mission progress bar. I'm determined to be the scumbag in this story. After saying that, I immediately closed the task system screen. As the screen shut down, the system let out a faint, almost unnoticeable chuckle. I didn't notice it. Instead, I angrily slapped the wall. Since plan A didn't work, I'll move on to plan B. The system got curious. What plan? Tell me. I want to hear it. Date Sue Wanley. Are you sure that's not increasing goodwill? It remembered clearly. Most redemption missions involved capturing the protagonist's heart and falling in love. Never had it heard of a mission that raised hatred through dating. I sneered coldly, full of confidence. Who says dating always means building affection? I can pretend to date her at first. Then, when she really falls for me,